this is Brad from Pro Wrestling Junkies, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from a place called Richmond, Virginia, Earth, and began wrestling in 2018. Worked for High Tension Wrestling, Game Changer, Synergy Pro, Atomic Championship Wrestling, Shakara, to name a few. Along the way, share the ring with likes of Laney Luck, Molly McCoy, Billy Dixon, AC Mack, Faye Jackson, Tasha Steeles, again, to name a few. If you want to check out matches, head over to IWTV, and there's plenty of great ones. So, without further ado, I give you the Gummy Bear Kid, that 90s chick, Erica Leigh. Erica, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for giving me some time in the middle of the week. I appreciate it.
Yeah, gotta work on the weekdays, right?
Yeah, seriously. I need something to do. So, first off, your ring gear is so colorful. What came first, like your character or your ring gear?
Definitely the character. I had the idea for kind of like the 90s nostalgia act and tried to dream up something, but eventually contacted Danny Gaucher.
Okay.
And she really brought it to life. She has designed all my gear thus far and is amazing to work with.
How many pieces of gear do you think you've accumulated since you started?
Just 4.
Oh, okay.
4 sets, yeah.
Have they ever gone between matches unwashed? You don't have to answer that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I don't know why that just popped out. You don't have to answer that. So I first saw you on Camp Leapfrog.
Okay.
And I don't know how I stumbled upon it. I have become obsessed with it. How fun it is, and all the different big characters on it. Was that a draw for you?
Yeah, for sure. The Camp Leapfrog is such a unique space in wrestling where we have a very friendly feel. It is sort of like an escape. You go away to summer camp and you have all these characters who just feel like friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very very special, very unique place to work. I love the vibe, the energy of Camp Leapfrog.
Yeah. Is it particularly more fun wrestling those matches than, say, another promotion that you work for?
No, I don't think there's anything inherently more fun about being in ring for any promotion. I think that the in-ring aspect is always really exciting for me. I always have fun when I wrestle. I think it's more like the vignettes and the storytelling and the sort of the goofy things that make Leapfrog so different and special. We have the sing-along moments.
Yeah.
Which are really fun. Yeah.
So the Wrestlers Take Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that. Was that fun to film?
So much fun.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
The cinematic matches have been some of my favorite matches to shoot.
Have you done more than that? For that?
Because everything right now, not everything, because a lot of things are taped right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is sort of this blurred line between a pre-tape and a cinematic. So I think the only other one that I would consider close to a cinematic would probably be Paris's Bumping, because it was no ring, because we were in a bar setting, and it was that felt sort of similar, where we could kind of push the envelope on what would be considered like a traditional wrestling match.
So is it kind of like doing both, like filming like a movie or a show, and then there's wrestling as well? Like, do you have to approach it completely differently?
I don't think that we approached the like mechanics of it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like the storytelling stays the same. Like the way you would go about a wrestling match kind of stays the same, but the production part of it is so much different, where you can analyze things in real time, right? Like you can say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that didn't work. We need a different angle on that, or we couldn't see your face, so the camera guy is going to move around to this angle.
So you'd reshoot it?
Yeah. So for cinematic matches, it's really it's a lot of fun to be able to put your best foot forward in ways that you can't for a live crowd or
Mm-hmm.
you're streaming live. Because it's smaller things where you're like, oh, I wish we got a better angle on that, but you looked great anyway.
Yeah.
Cinematic match, you can get a better angle on it.
Was there ever something that you had to like repeatedly like do over?
There, the
It was like line.
right, yeah, like feed it to me again. No, I think the only thing that comes to mind is when I was fighting Billy Dixon for the Wrestlers Take Manhattan, that cinematic match, when he shoves my face into like a plant.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we did it a second time, but I do remember just being like, okay, we're good on this shot. Like,
Yeah. I feel you actually have a question. Like during that, like when you were fighting Billy, were you guys like on the roof?
Yeah, we were.
Because I thought you were getting really close to the edge at points. I mean, were you? Because it seemed like it was.
I think there's a little bit of like TV magic there, but we
Okay.
We're filming on a rooftop, which was another like unique experience. And
Yeah.
How often you get to shoot a wrestling show like on a rooftop bar.
It was warm weather. Do you guys do it in the summer?
Yeah, I think it was early September or maybe August.
Okay.
But yeah, it was nice out.
So, for you had known Billy Dixon for a bit at that point.
Yeah.
So, did you first meet him for Paris's Bumping?
No, I've known Billy for a couple of years now. We have trained in the same area, and we've gone on a few road trips together.
Okay.
So I've known Billy for a while. We're pretty good friends.
Is being on the road a lot of fun? Like going
definitely depends on who you're with, but definitely if you get a good car together, it can be really fun. I don't know that I miss that aspect of like working regularly, like when we had our pre-COVID world where you could be taking like a 12-hour road trip every weekend. I don't know that I miss that so much, but it can be fun. If you have a good car, it can be fun.
Yeah, but I could see like now it's kind of like you might as well travel if you're going to. You might as well travel alone because you probably shouldn't be that close to people in the car or something.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's different now, especially because you can't just like jump in. A lot of places, if you're not on the show, you can't show up to the venue.
Oh, that's right. So would you do that often? Like you'd hear about a show and then you just go there and show up?
Yeah, that was actually like one of my goals for the year 2020 was to hop into more cars and go to more shows and be in more places, because you never know when they're going to need the extra help or if an opportunity comes up, if someone cancels. There's a lot of potentially great situations that can present themselves if you are at a show.
Yeah.
So very quickly, just jumping into cars and getting to random places became impossible. So that goal for 2020 kind of got nixed. But
so, what was the furthest you've ever traveled, like, and you weren't booked and didn't get on?
That is a great question. I think the furthest, and you said didn't get on the show?
Yeah.
I don't know that that's. I think every time I've shown up somewhere, I've been able to help out in some capacity, which is such a good, positive experience, right? I don't think I've ever shown up somewhere and been like completely unused.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's a fair answer then.
Yeah.
Okay, can we go back a couple years to when you were, say, a teenager?
Hmm.
Were you so you were into sports as a kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were did you play sports throughout like high school?
Yeah. I started playing tennis when I was like 7 years old, and I
Hmm.
played pretty much until I started wrestling. But I've played a bunch of stuff, like 1 or 2 seasons of like a ton of other sports, like field hockey and softball, and I did figure skating for a while,
Oh, really?
for a
How'd
short
you get into
while.
that?
Um, I think it was because my brother played street hockey,
Hmm.
maybe. Um, and I think he had wanted to try ice hockey. I don't know. I remember just being at the rink near
Yeah,
like where I grew up, and I was like, "Oh, I'll try this." And
yeah. But you
started doing
decided I'm
hockey.
not going to go to the like you don't want to go to the Olympics, so you're like I might as well not even do this.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense sport. There's not like a lot of middle ground of like I
And
got, adequate at figure skating, like it's
yeah, but like once you start like going into the air on ice, that's where I would like start being scared. But like, there's no easy way to fall on
that's
ice.
the first thing you
There's
learn
no
at
cushion.
fall.
Like if it was on marshmallow, I would do it for sure.
Yeah,
I've, you know.
I got so far. I learned one jump. That was as far as I got in.
Oh wow, was it a triple axel?
It was indeed, yeah.
Oh wow. All right, so we know that you're a world class figure skater. When did wrestling kind of come into your radar?
I didn't start watching wrestling until I was an adult. Um,
Really?
yeah, I did not watch as a kid, so I didn't have this like lifelong childhood passion to
Hmm.
be in the ring. But once I started watching it, I was so hooked. I started training like less than 2 years later.
Did you know anyone who did watch wrestling?
Yeah, so my partner, it was like one of our earlier dates. He was like,
Okay.
oh, it's Monday. You get to watch Monday Night Raw with me and my roommates. And I was like, oh God, that sounds so lame. I don't think this will work. But yeah, I fell in love with wrestling, fell in love with him. We're still together. It's
Oh,
yeah, it's a pretty
does
sweet
he
story.
does he wrestle? If I can ask.
No,
No.
he has absolutely no desire to to get in the ring. It's really funny. People always ask that question
Uh-huh.
when they find out that he's, the person that got me into it. They're like, "Oh, and
Yeah.
does he train? Does he want to, get into wrestling?" And he's more than happy watching and supporting me, but he has no goals to get in ring himself.
Okay. Two questions.
Hmm.
One, is he like? Does he think it's so cool that like you're a pro wrestler? You know.
Yeah,
What does your
he's
wife or girlfriend do? She works in a accounting firm. What does yours do? She's a professional wrestler. Does he, especially coming from someone who was a wrestling fan?
yeah, he
I
thinks
imagine
it's
there's a
awesome.
lot of bragging.
There is, and he's really sweet and really supportive. He definitely is like my number one fan and biggest
Does he
supporter.
get nervous for you when you're in the ring?
I think he understands the like level of reasonable risk we all take every time we wrestle. I don't think he gets like nervous or afraid for me. I think when I first started, he did. I think there was like it was like one of my earlier matches. I did like a crossbody to the outside, and he was like, "Oh shit," like I think
Do you
that
see him? Do you ever make eye contact with him when he's in the crowd and you're in the ring? Or
the
can you not do that? It'll throw you off.
the first few matches I had were so close to home
Uh,
that those were the only ones he's really been to. He doesn't like travel a lot to see me because it is,
sure.
sometimes you'd have to make like a 5 hour drive, and I'm not going to ask him to do that. But
Does he
um,
does he ever say, while you're in the ring, blink and I'll know you love me? Does he ever make you do that? No?
no, we've never had like a code to.
Okay. All right. This is the last question I'll ask you about him before it gets uncomfortable. One time I tried putting a figure four leg lock on my wife. I ended up hurting myself really bad. Have you ever has he ever asked you, will you put me like in a headlock or do something?
No, there's not a lot of home training going. We'll
Okay.
mostly just watch together, and he might ask like a question like, oh, like how's that supposed to go, or like is that difficult or whatever. But
So
Yeah.
so what happened? Like, where did it like go from not watching wrestling at all to deciding like I need to find a trainer to do this?
Yeah, I don't know how. I really couldn't tell you like how my brain worked that out, but I was completely obsessed with it like almost immediately. So it was just that sort of thing where I'd be watching at home and I'd be like moving around on the couch like while I was watching, and like I just knew I had to try it. I was like, if I suck at it, I suck at it, right? Like if it doesn't work out, who cares? I just have to know. I have to try it. So I found a trainer in the area, and
Did you go online looking for local trainers,
I
or did
did
you have a lead on something?
I did sort of like try to give it a Google and see what I could find, but what ended up happening was I saw one of my friends on Facebook posted something unrelated to wrestling, and I saw in the comment section somebody she was friends with replied, but their profile picture was them in a wrestling ring, and I was like, oh, does my friend know somebody that well, maybe this won't be weird. And then I just them. I did like a cold call. I was like, hi, you don't know me, but I'm friends with so and so, and
Did they think it was weird?
no.
Okay.
Thank God. No, it was actually Jordan Blade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Jordan Blade took me to my first day of wrestling training.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, for sure.
Like on the way there, were you like, I should turn around and go home?
Well, there was no turning back, right? Like she
Yeah,
was in the car.
excuse me, let me say that. Jump out of the car, the moving car.
Yeah, tuck and roll.
So you got there. Had you ever been inside of a ring at that point?
No.
Never. Did you know kind of what to expect? Did anyone tell you?
No.
Okay.
I had no clue. I remember.
Did you think you were physically fit enough?
So when she told me to come to training with her, because I was asking, I was picking her brain about it, and she was like, just come with me. I remember I said to her, I was like, you don't have to see me like run a mile first or like do push-ups. Like, I can just come. Like, it's kind of bizarre.
Some squats?
Yeah. I was like, there's no like physical fitness test. And there sure isn't.
Okay.
I think I was in like okay shape, but definitely not like, I mean, I've come such a long way in the last few years in terms of and fitness, but yeah, I had no idea what to expect, not a clue, and it was, I mean, any expectation I could have had would have been wrong. It's been such a wild experience.
On your first day, was there anyone else starting as well that day?
No, I think I was the only person there that was their first day.
Okay. So you go, how many hours did you put in on like the first day of training?
I was probably there for 2 to 3 hours.
And then were you in pain when you got home? Or sore?
Yeah, it's like it's very physically demanding. So it's unlike a lot of other workouts because you're, falling and it's a very like unnatural sort of thing to fall on your back or your face. Are you is it once you know how to take a bump, like you can take any bump? Kind of. Yeah, I would say it's sort of like that. When you generally know what to expect, it's a little easier. But some things are always a little, you can have more intense moments than others, right? Like in certain wrestling matches, they look clean and they look pretty, and all the bumps were easy and nice, and then sometimes a little bit more clunky, or it's more of a fight, and some things just hurt more, right?
So if say for example you got thrown through like a first story like balcony, okay, would you be better prepared to take the landing than say me who has do you know what I mean? Like, do you at least know like how to land?
I don't
something
know.
Like that.
I'd like to say yes. I'd like to say my wrestling training would kick in, but I still slip on ice, like
sure, yeah. Oh, that's right. A little secret about me, I love videos of people like falling, especially like shoveling snow and ice. It's just, I don't know why. So when did you like consider that you were no longer in training to be a wrestler, or is that still, do you still feel you are?
I do still feel like I'm training. I feel like everybody should always be training to get better. But definitely in the last year, I felt more comfortable recognizing that like I am like working fairly regularly and putting myself out there, and I'm not just a trainee anymore. So I'm like a trainee and a wrestler now.
Well, try being a pro wrestler when there's a pandemic. That's a problem. You know, what would you say is the best part for you about being a pro wrestler? And the flip side's coming to in a minute. So
the best part is probably Twitter, I'd have to say.
Okay. That's the best part of being a wrestler is Twitter.
The best part about being a wrestler is Twitter.
Yeah. I wish I had one of those breaking news things that could go across the bottom. You will not believe this.
Yeah, hot take.
Okay. Would the worst part of being a professional wrestler be like Instagram or Facebook? I'm trying to stay in your...
No, I think the worst part is like being at a wrestling show.
Oh. Wait, do you wake up in the morning on like the day of a show like, I gotta go to work, or like, oh, I'm psyched? What was that?
Dread. Always very stressful. Yeah.
Wait, why?
I think it's that like, you know, the nerves before a show, or like first day of school jitters. That's sort of where you want something to go well, so you're nervous about it. You want something to go well, so you're stressed out about it.
Okay. Do you consider that a good thing?
Yeah, I consider it a good sort of stress. So, you know, the lead up to every match is always like very like emotionally draining, because I am like stressed the whole day and like nervous.
Oh yeah. Are you able to eat before you wrestle at least?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
No, because I could see like having just being nervous and stressed and.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like pretty careful with what they eat before wrestling, and some people can't eat at all, but I'm pretty.
Is that common for wrestlers that they get like nervous on the day of, and you know, not until the match is over do they feel better?
I think that's like a common. I wouldn't say for everybody, but I think it's pretty common to feel like a sense of relief when the match is finally over, and like all the build up through the day is.
Like, will you go on IWTV and rewatch your matches, or you can't watch yourself?
I watch my matches back for critique, but I don't watch them back for fun.
Okay.
It's tough to watch myself.
So, but like your boyfriend and your family, they love it?
My partner definitely loves it. He watches whatever shows of mine he can, whatever and he watches. My family watches them sometimes. I don't know that they'd say that they love it. I think they're very supportive, but they're not wrestling fans themselves. So it's more just what did
they want young Erica to be one day?
I think
what were their dreams for you?
They've always been supportive parents, and that whatever makes me happy makes them happy. So with the wrestling, for sure, is it was it something they could have predicted? No. But it's not something I would have predicted either. So it definitely is like a surprise, but they're happy that I'm happy.
Would people in your graduating class of high school be shocked like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't think anyone would have seen this coming. But
have you gone to any reunions yet, like high school reunions?
No, I haven't.
Not yet? Would you go?
Probably not. I just don't live very close to where I grew up now. So,
okay.
I don't think
I was going to say, if you do go, 2 guaranteed winners are either wearing a wedding dress or your ring gear. So if you decide to go, just keep those in mind. You'll make a statement, a huge one.
Showing up in gimmick would be quite the move.
Oh yeah, like I always tell my wife, like put your wedding dress on and let's go to like Chick-fil-A, and like just go in and like sit together and eat, and she'll be the girl in the wedding dress.
Yeah.
Are there any opponents that actually intimidate you? Like,
yeah, I would say Max the Impaler is real life intimidating.
oh wow.
Darius Carter is real life intimidating for sure. There are some people that like, the work never stops, I guess.
Would you do death matches?
No.
Okay. Do you consider death matches wrestling?
Yeah, for sure.
Just a different version of it.
Yeah, a different flavor of ice cream that I'm just not interested in.
Okay.
I know I've gotten this question a lot lately just because I've had a few matches where either I got my nose broken or my lip split open. And, that question has been raised a few times. And it's just, accidents happen, I guess. We're fighting. People are bound to get hurt sometimes. But I'm not looking to go out and do that specifically. I don't need...
you don't need to fight an enemy with broken glass on your hands.
I don't need...
That's not how you choose to end
weapons
feuds.
to the scenario. I don't need that. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to let you go shortly because it is a Wednesday. Oh, let me ask you a question before. Do you like sit down to watch like wrestling on Monday nights and on Wednesday nights and Friday nights?
I don't watch too much of like the weekly programming on TV. Do
you have WWE Network?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I do like to watch. I try not to fit that wrestling into my schedule so much as when I have the time to watch wrestling, I'll pick out something that I'm really interested in and want to watch. Whether it's for fun or whether it's like tape study, but I don't really fit myself around that schedule so much as I try to fit wrestling into mine.
Okay, that makes sense. So is it March? No, it's February. Do you have things booked far off the rest of this year? Like, can you like make even take bookings like for June or?
I think the furthest out I have a booking right now is for April. So I don't have anything too far in advance, but I've always been sort of that way where I don't like taking things that are too far out. Just because it is a changing world. We don't know too much about what's going to happen a couple months from now. So
I know. Is there any part of it that's like kind of relieved that you don't have to wrestle as much?
Yeah,
because you're not going to end up getting stressed as much.
Yeah, for sure. I think the very beginning of the pandemic was really interesting. Coming up on a year ago, because everyone was sort of forced to take this break. Like no one was running shows, everything was canceled. People were not training. There was this forced pause on wrestling life. And I thought that was really nice because we are so apt to like wear ourselves out and wear ourselves down and train through minor injuries and work through minor injuries. And it was kind of nice to hit like the reset button, the pause button a little bit and not feel like the pressure of the rat race so much.
Sure.
Going. I thought that was great. But it has been nice. Having a little bit lighter of a schedule. I do miss, quote unquote normal life. I do miss pre-COVID conditions, but
are there a lot of like your friends that you just haven't seen because there aren't events?
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I think there's always a silver lining to a situation. There's always a positive you can take from it. So being content with like a lighter schedule is kind of my way of saying like, it's not all bad. But I do miss a lot of people that I just don't see, right? Exactly because of that reason.
Well, hopefully things we're going in the right direction.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you 5 non-related wrestling questions? Not related to wrestling questions, pardon me. That's enough wrestling. Okay. Do you have a favorite Liam Neeson Taken movie? 1, 2, or 3? Like on a Friday night, which Taken movie do you guys love popping in?
I think I've only ever seen the first one, so I guess I'd have to say the first one.
Okay. Have you ever chewed food and then fed someone like a mother bird feeds her young? Like, I did it once and I got in a lot of trouble from my wife. A lot.
No, I've never baby birded anybody.
Okay, now this one might be gross. For $300,000, would you drink an 8-ounce glass of someone's tears?
Tears. 8 ounces.
I think that's like a little glass.
Yeah, it's a little one. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
$300,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever been asked to leave a restaurant and not come back?
No, I haven't been.
Okay.
That's on the bucket list, huh?
Yeah, totally. You got to do that. Everyone's got to do it before they die. All right. And the last question, you're doing great so far. Do you have any outstanding warrants in any of the lower 48 states?
No.
5 for 5. Awesome. Erica, that was great. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm not just joking that, Wednesday afternoon, I do appreciate that time. I know it's a weird part in the day. But thank you again. And I hope you stay healthy and safe and you get your anxiety under control during this pandemic.
Thank you.
No, because I know how. Okay, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Like from the second I woke up today, I've been nervous all day about this. It's just like, I just get anxiety. And so, all right, good. All right, so take care, and hopefully we can get you on again soon.
Brad, thank you so much for having me. Have a great
It was truly my pleasure. Take care.